Hi guys! So apparently last time you really loved our video Why do Koreans? 왜 한국인들은? So we wanted to make a second video Why do Koreans on our channel. 첫 번째. Well, how tall are you?
난 180.
That's tall. That's the thing.
180.
From what I've seen, the first impression is why Koreans are so tall when we arrive in Korea or when we meet a Korean.
나는 이게 어렸을 때부터 이제 친구들이랑 같이 지냈잖아. 그래서 나는 좀 평균 키랑 이런 걸 좀 알지. 근데 큰 사람들도 엄청 많긴 해. 큰 사람들도 많고 작은 사람들도 있고. 내가 생각해도 요즘은 큰 사람들 좀 많은 것 같아.
Here they say nutrition is probably the biggest reason why the average height increased. More generally, in Western countries, we have this cliché that Asians are pretty short in general. When we go to Korea, we are a little bit surprised, like
다 커서.
yeah.
좀 신기하네. 그렇게 키가 크다고 생각해주니까.
Yeah. In the previous video, we said that Koreans were all handsome, and now we say you're tall.
그러니까 코리아는
You're so
키가
lucky.
크고 잘생겼네.
Yeah. So this you're really lucky, right? If you know the reason why Koreans are tall, let us know in the comments. 두 번째.
생각을 해보면 우리는 원래 침대를 안 쓰는 사람들이었잖아. 케바케인 거 같아.
Yeah, case like this.
케바케인 거 같아.
In our case, we just had a small wooden thing on the floor. When I was living alone, I was also sleeping on the floor.
근데 그런 거 같아. 이게 항상 바닥에서 여기는 바닥에 짐을 띄었다 했잖아.
Yeah.
추워서 그런 거 아니야?
Yeah, because in Korea also you have the underwood, right? We don't have this system here, so that's why like sleeping like close to the floor, especially if you have like tiles on the floor, is very cold. We try to be like higher, I guess. Third question, 세 번째.
하나 그럼 1화를 얘기해줘. 뭐 축구에서 우리가 이게 축구에서 얘기가 나왔을 것 같아.
Everyone's name was Kim, so there were like 4 Kim, and they were calling it like the Kim wall, something like that.
스위스 4명이 다 김 그래서
Exactly.
옛날에 이제 그 뭐야 레이트 조선?
Yeah.
그때 많이 샀대. They bought.
Yeah, the
family
names. Yeah, but I guess the 3 main names are Kim, Park, Lee. Yeah, you are Lee, right? I have a Lee with me.
너무 많아.
Yeah.
김씨, 박씨가 너무 많아.
There are many. You often say that he comes from a royal family. Maybe, who knows? Here they also say it became increasingly common for successful merchants to take on the last name too. They could purchase an elite genealogy by physically buying a genealogical book. Alright, if you know a lot about this topic, let us know in the comments also because that's very interesting, and I'm sure that many French people would love to have answers about this, and not only French people actually.
근데 아마 엄청 이유가 많을 것 같아.
Yeah,
이렇게 된 이유가 한 가지뿐만 아니라 너무 많으니까 이유가 엄청 많을 것 같아.
Yeah, there are many. I think so. So in France also we have different names, but actually, to be honest, there are many people who share the same family name also. You know. The thing is, we are a multicultural country, so it's harder to keep the same names. But back then, we had, for example, people who could get a name based on their work, for example. So that's very interesting, to be honest. Fourth question, last question for today.
그거는 그냥 내 생각에는 첫 번째 음식도 달라서 그런 걸 수도 있지. 음식, food.
Yeah, many vegetables in Korean food. Yeah.
And preference.
About standards, like beauty standards.
beauty standard. 어렸을 때는 배우들이나 가수 다 말랐던 것 같아.
Even now.
지금은 조금 이제 좀 통통한 사람도 있고 뚱뚱한 사람도 있고 조금 이제 많아졌는데 옛날에는 그래서 우리는 그런 거를 보면서 배우잖아.
Of course, when you grow up in this kind of environment with these idols, you want to look like them. Of course, like I had the same in France. You know, like at this time when like all the girls in the early 2000s, they all had very straight hair, but I'm half, so my hair are very curly. So I felt very sad, and I wanted to look like them, so I burnt my hair many times, and still nowadays I still do it. So yeah, being slim in Korea and in France, it was maybe other things, other beauty standards. But yeah, there is no good or bad body as long as you are healthy, actually.
근데 이게 아마 질문들이 다 옛날 질문들인 것 같아, 내 생각에. 요즘은 또 보면 다 운동하고 그러잖아.
Yeah, it's like old questions. It seems very cliche actually, but I think that's still how people think of Koreans because Korean culture is spreading nowadays. Like you could see in France, like Korean culture is getting bigger and bigger. But people still have many clichés about Korea. These are the main ones. Tall, with a very good skin condition. Pale, like white, very good hair, which is actually very true. I mean, you have one of the most beautiful hair in the world, like to be honest. I mean, in my opinion. I mean, every hair is beautiful, like in African countries, in South America, in everywhere. But in Korea, sometimes I was really amazed when like looking at girls like in front of me in the subway or whatever, and like the hair always looked very healthy, like silky.
근데 아마 우리나라도 너네 보면 똑같이 그렇게 생각하겠지.
Yeah, you think so? You think that people think the contrary? Oh, really?
그래서 막 노란색으로 염색하고 그러잖아.
Ah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
블론드처럼 보이고 싶어하고. 우리는 아프로팜도 막 생기고 그랬어.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
이게 반대로는 똑같으니까.
Yeah, I mean,
똑같아.
that's the thing. We always look for what we don't have in any case. That's being human. That's all. I really think that even if it's changing now, and I think it's a good point, it's still ongoing. And like when you see like ads, or I worked in the modeling industry also in Korea, and I couldn't do any fashion show or whatever because I was considered too fat for this. I could only do like commercials, this kind of like cosmetics, like commercials, these kind of things. I mean, it's fine, and I guess we have different bodies, also body type. But most importantly, just stay healthy all the time. So today's video was also very interesting to film, and I guess there are a few more questions, but we've seen the most interesting ones. So if you have the answers to the questions we asked in the video, you can just let us know in the comments, of course. If you have questions about French people, let us know also in the comments. I would love to hear, and I will try my best to answer your questions. 그리고 좋아요
구독
해주세요. Bye bye.